Good morning, students. Today we are going to do the progress check. First question is, transpiration is best defined as which one of these? Loss of water from plants? No. Loss of water as water vapor from the plants is the best one. Second, in one of the experiments to demonstrate transpiration, we used cobalt chloride paper. What are the characteristics of this paper that suit the experiment? The characteristic of this paper is that it is blue in color, and when it comes in contact with moisture, it turns pink. So in this, the experiments related to transpiration, we make use of it because water is lost in the form of water vapor by the plant, and that can be detected with the help of the cobalt chloride paper. Next is, look at the experiment 5.4. Suppose you took a single flower with a long stalk dipping in water instead of a leafy twig. Will it serve the same purpose? Yes, because transpiration is the loss of water from the aerial parts of the plant, especially leaves. Here it is, in the absence of leaves, transpiration will take place through soft stalk and the floral leaves. Floral leaves means the corolla, calyx, all those. Next is, mention any two limitations in the use of potometer. Number one, it is not easy to introduce the air bubble. Number two, the twig may not remain fully alive for a long time. Next we come over to the kinds of transpiration. Transpiration from the aerial parts of the plant occurs in three different regions. From the leaves through stomata, then it is called stomatal transpiration. Directly from the surface of the leaves and stem, that is cuticular transpiration. And from the lenticels, which are minute openings on the surface of the old woody stem, that is called lenticular transpiration. And the major transpiration occurs through stomata. So maximum transpiration occurs through stomata, that is stomatal transpiration is maximum. Whereas the other two types of transpiration contribute very little. Next we come over to mechanism of stomatal transpiration. Stomata are minute openings in the epidermis or the epidermal layer of the leaves, and a stoma is surrounded by two bean-shaped guard cells, and during daytime the stomata are wide open primarily for the intake of carbon dioxide for photosynthesis, and the number of stomata may range from 1000 to 10,000 per cubic centimeter. And what happens in stomatal transpiration? The water vapor escapes through the stomata of the leaves. The water which is absorbed by the roots from the soil rises up through the stem and reaches the tissue of the leaves through veins. And a large number of spongy cells are there in the leaves, and the mesophyll cells. Palisade and spongy together is known as the mesophyll. So these cells are there in the leaves, and they have intercellular spaces. There are spaces in between the cells which are called intercellular spaces, and these surfaces of the cell give out some of the water as in a thin film. So when the surfaces of these cells, they give out some water in the form of film, and that water moves into the intercellular spaces and forms a thin film there, and the water from this thin film evaporates, and the water vapor formed saturates the air in the intercellular spaces, and the water vapor, their saturation is increased in the intercellular spaces, and the vapors then diffuse into the connecting intercellular spaces. From one intercellular space, they move into the other and finally reach the substomatal space. And when they form a film here in the substomatal space and the stomata are open, then these water vapor, they diffuse out from the place of their higher concentration to the place of their lower concentration. So in this way, stomatal transpiration occurs. And as shown in this figure 5.8, it shows the movement of water through leaf. See, water reaches the veins, and from veins it moves into the adjoining cells by diffusion and even by osmosis. It moves into the adjoining cells, and then from here they move into the intercellular spaces and from one intercellular space into the other, and finally it reaches the substomatal space, and a film is formed here. And then when the stomata, they are open during daytime, the evaporation takes place, or you can say these water vapor, they move from their higher concentration to the lower concentration and move out into the atmosphere. So in this way, water moves out into the atmosphere in the form of water vapor. And the cells that lose water in this way replace it by drawing more of this water from the nearest vein. So this water is absorbed from the nearest vein, and most of this water travels along the cell wall by imbibition, and small quantity enters into it by osmosis, and the water vapor diffuse out, or diffusion of water vapors take place from the stomata. So all these three phenomena, imbibition, osmosis and diffusion, play a role here. Thousands of leaf cells evaporate water in this way, causing more of the water to be pulled from below via the xylem vessels, and the transpiration pull thus created. So when water is pulled up from the veins, and these veins from the xylem of the branches and xylem of the stem, and finally from the xylem of the roots, and roots absorb water from the soil, and this transpiration pull which is created can pull up water to about 50 meters or more in a tall tree. And this transpiration, it occurs more from the undersurface of a dicot leaf. There are more stomatal openings, I told you earlier also, on the undersurface of a dicot leaf. You know what is a dicot leaf? A leaf of those plants whose seeds are dicotyledonous, means have two cotyledons, and therefore more transpiration occurs from the undersurface. And this can be proved with the help of an experiment. We take two pieces of dry cobalt chloride paper attached to the two surfaces of the leaves. We attach it, one piece of cobalt chloride paper on the upper surface of the leaf, one on the lower or undersurface of the leaf, and we fix it with the help of glass slide and clip it, and the leaf should remain attached to the plant and this piece of paper which is facing on the upper side of the leaf turns pink in much longer time as compared to the one which is placed on the lower surface. This one which is placed on the lower surface turns pink faster as compared to one placed on the upper surface. This shows that more transpiration occurs from the undersurface of the leaf or from the lower surface of the leaf as compared to the upper surface of the leaf. So this much for today.